Good morning. I'd like to welcome everybody to the September 12th, 2024 Board of Public Works and Safety meeting. Roll call, please. Here.
Here.
Here. Are there any conflict of interest statements?
No, sir.
Approval of the minutes of the meeting of September 5th, 2024.
Motion to approve those minutes.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Number 5, bid openings. I don't see anything. Number 6, matters from other department heads or their representatives. Mr. Budd.
Good morning to the board. I'm sorry for this late addition. We have had difficulty with our AEDs or defibrillators at City Hall. They've been problematic. We've had to replace these devices twice already. Oh, this will be the second time we're having to replace the devices. So in light of that, and we started in 2020, so it seems to be about every 2 years where these things are malfunctioning. So we solicited pricing from a couple of vendors to lease these devices so that we don't have to keep buying new ones. They'll take care of them, and we think this is the better option. The two prices, one was from Cintas. The annual amount would have been $7,200. The low responsive quoter was Wildman, who does our first aid kits. They were $3,840, and so we're recommending the Board of Public Works and Safety approve the agreement for the AED devices, please.
Okay. With that particular company, the one low bidder? Wildman? Okay. Yeah, Dean, I guess who's responsible for this, paying for it?
The engineering department.
Engineering, gotcha.
We're the building. We're responsible for the building and its upkeep, and that would fall under my department.
Okay.
Motion to approve the request.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anything else from department heads or their representatives?
Good morning to the board, Mr. President.
Good morning.
I have like the board to, if I could approach.
Yes.
It's just a rehab agreement. We had that up on status last week, and we were kind of waiting for that agreement. So it's the signed rehab agreement. I believe we already have a status. If not, Linda will set one, but I believe we already have one on that address.
We do.
6349-51 Jefferson. So it was from last week. Yeah. So if I could ask for its approval.
Okay.
Motion to approve.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I apologize. I didn't know it was on the agenda. So
Yeah. It's okay. It's approved now, so.
thank you.
Okay, no problem. Anything else from department heads or their representatives? Okay, moving on to correspondence. Letter A, correspondence received from William Short, Chief of Police, requesting the approval for correctional officer Jamarian McGee to receive the promotional raise due to him effective September 18, 2024, the resignation of correctional officer Kyle Thompson effective the close of business on September 23, 2024, and a disciplinary action.
Motion to approve.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Letter B, correspondence received from Bernard Grisolia, Fire Chief, recommending the approval of the resignation of probationary Travis Hackett, received September 4th, 2024, and advising that Private 2 Class Tristan Petrie has been approved for disability pension effective September 11th, 2024.
Motion to approve.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Letter C, correspondence received from Amy Smith, Insurance Administrator, requesting the approval of the Medco Express Scripts PBM Agreement Service Addendum.
Motion to approve.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Letter D, correspondence received from the Controller's Office requesting the approval of the renewal of the amusement device license for Dick's Are You Crazy, Columbia Gyros, Michigan Bar and Grill, Pepe's Mexican Restaurant, and Flight's Tap Room, also Whiskey Lounge.
Motion to approve.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
That was fair. D. Letter E, correspondence received from Reith Riley Construction requesting the approval to close the westbound lane of Summer Street at Hump Road extending to Willis for the Summer Street rebuild Phase 3 on or after September 25th, 2024, through November 20th, 2024.
Yeah, so this request comes obviously from Reith Riley with the support of the engineering department. The plan was to put some temporary asphalt down and be able to keep the lane, each one lane open in each direction. We're so late in the year that my concern is that if we do pave over this area, we're going to have problems all winter long with drainage and runoff, because that temporary paving would cover up the drainage structures on that north side of Summer Street. And my concern is it would just take, it cause a lot of problems all through the winter. And so the contractor came to us and said, can we do just a one lane closure? So it's one lane in each direction now. So it'll be one way only eastbound. One way eastbound on Summer Street for a couple of months. November 20th is about the end of the paving season, right? So it's going to take up to that point to do that. They're going to put advance signs up in advance of the date, the September 25th date. So advising everyone, they've talked to the business owners along the way to advise them what's going on, though the companies that have large trucks can accommodate the change, and so we're asking for this approval.
So with this change, Dean, just for kind of a heads up here, are we planning on it being done this year?
No, it will
It's
not be
not
completed
done
this year. There were delays related to NIPSCO relocation, and there was another issue that caused a delay outside the contractor's control. And so we expect this project to finish mid-25.
Gotcha. Okay. Very good.
Motion to approve.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I'm grateful, thank you.
Thank you. Matters from other board members? Anything?
No chocolate information.
Thank you. I don't think I can handle any right now. Anything else from board members?
No, sir.
Okay. Number 9, new business. Letter A, first extension of agreement to rehabilitate property located at 7601 Golf Course submitted for approval.
I'll request the approval as presented, provided it's signed. I believe there's a expiration date at the top.
It's signed, and the expiration date is December 15th.
All right.
2024.
And 7601 Golfway was that on last week's?
It was.
So
It was, yeah.
Okay, then we've got it. We should have a status date already, so we're good.
Just approve it.
Yes, please.
Motion to approve.
And I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Letter B, recommendation from engineering department to place a no turn on red when children are present sign on northbound Pine signal at Chicago Street.
I was called on a couple of occasions this week related to the crossing guard who works that location. I didn't actually speak to the crossing guard, but on behalf of them, I spoke to Councilwoman Venez and Felix Gonzalez regarding northbound Pine and the lack of following directions by the crossing guard to the motorists, right? And so the crossing guard asked that we add the no turn on red when children are present, right, to sort of encourage the drivers to behave in that location, because this is clearly at a time when kids are at arrival or dismissal of school. And so I asked that we get this approved by the board, and then these signs can go up.
Okay.
Motion to approve.
And I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Letter C, right-of-way permit received from engineering submitted for approval.
Good morning.
Hi, Mark.
Hey, we only have 2, and basically they're slam dunks. They're just replacing the aprons in a couple properties.
Okay.
So I would recommend approval.
Yeah, it looks like 7450 Columbia and 3838 176 Place in Hammond.
Yes.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Motion to approve.
I second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Letter D, request for late rental registration hearing.
Motion to set the matter for status for October 3rd, 2024.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Letter E, garage sale permit submitted for approval. We're not gonna- Third. Yeah, they're both, yeah. Probably, there's another one, yeah, it must be a neighborhood thing. So,
Motion to approve all requests except for 5924 Columbia is the third request.
I second.
all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Letter F, agreement to, we already took care of letter F. We approved that already. Moving on to number 10, old business, letter A, status for 7235 Calumet. Yeah.
I don't see Attorney Peterson here, however, I did receive an email correspondence in that requesting that we show the violation satisfied. However, there's not been any work done to remove the apartments and the hearing has not been held, so I would request today that the board assign a hearing date for this property so that we can present our findings during the inspection and have, these apartments affirmed for removal.
Do we know, I mean, he's been very good about coming to court and stuff, is
Yeah, I'm
there?
not sure why he's not here today. Probably, I did see the email, and I think what he's trying to do is just to determine, because he's agreed that they're not going to be residential, and I think they're willing to, I don't know if they're willing to sign a covenant or not, Nick, are they? Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't,
So-
yeah, my main focus at this point is to ensure that we present our findings from the inspection to justify, having it affirmed for removal. We understand that the owner has, made certain repairs to the building and has gone through this process of litigation with the previous owner to establish ownership. She now has sole ownership of the building. So all that we're requesting is an opportunity to present our case.
And I just don't want to, yeah, I'm sorry, Nick, go ahead.
No, you're fine. I'm good.
I was just going to say, what we don't want to do is have an unnecessary hearing, right? So that for example, I guess what I would ask Nick and Kelly is if he's going to sign, let's say, a document or a covenant that says, I agree not to have apartments there, is that good enough, or
Well, that was my question. Since we've been moving along so well, do we need to schedule a hearing? Do we need to do it just to kind of show them we're serious about this?
I believe that's exactly what we're looking for. Good morning.
Morning.
We could cut water service. There's things they can do to make sure that it's not going to be able to be used as apartments without having to rip out walls or anything like that. Cutting water services for the apartments. They all have toilets. Taking that water away and getting that cut capped off. So if, in the future, if anything does happen, God forbid, a fire or someone, and it has been residential, someone has been in there, we did our part. That's what we're trying to cover, what may happen in the future. We want to be able to cover ourselves for actions that we've taken. As long as this has been going on, getting a plumber to cap off all the water services, I think is a way we can go the easiest way we can go.
would we not need water service, though, if there were commercial uses in there?
Not- For all their commercial use, they perfectly can, we could separate the issue. They'd have their water service, we'd just cut the services, cap the services off to the apartments.
Can't that be done, as part of the permitting process versus having a hearing?
Well, what Attorney Peterson indicated was that his client doesn't have the money to do that, and that's, I understand that full and well, and if she needs time to generate revenue in order to do the physical removal, that's fine. I'm not requesting her to do physical work at this point in time. What I'm seeking is that the affirmation is recorded with the property to indicate that that section of this commercial property is not permitted to be used as residential occupancy. And although his client may intend to not utilize it that way, we all know intentions are well and fine until they aren't. or,
Well,
and so,
Well, I guess my question is, couldn't that affirmation be done with a letter?
That's why I'm suggesting a covenant that we record.
Right,
right, a covenant of use or a deed restriction
Right.
of sorts would be sufficient. But in order to present that to the board, we typically still go through the hearing process and present our evidence, that's all.
If it's agreed to if it comes by agreement, I'll talk to
Yeah,
Nick and
that's-
Kelly after this, just so we get on the same page. Maybe we want to reset this for a couple weeks to advise Mr. Peterson if he wants to show up and be heard on it. But that way we can just, I'll discuss this with Kelly and Nick. I haven't had a chance to talk through it with him. I know Nick sent me an email regarding Mr.
That'd be
Peterson's
fine, too.
email.
If a covenant can be agreed upon, and then recorded the property that space is not permitted to be occupied residentially, then that would suffice as well, so.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I haven't, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I haven't touched base with Mr. Peterson on the issue either because I wanted to talk to Nick first, so.
So is September 26th, 2 weeks? No?
I will not be available September 26th. We have the Realtors breakfast.
October 3rd?
Sure, or we could try even next week if Mr. Peterson could be
That's what I
advised.
was thinking.
Yeah,
It
that's
should
fine.
be pretty quick,
Yeah.
right?
And I'll try to work with him over the next weekend with Nick to see if we can come to resolution. If not, maybe we could advise him to appear next Thursday. And he's also, of course, more than welcome to appear by Zoom if that's easier for him.
Motion to set the matter for status for September 19th,
Yep.
2024.
Thank you.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, everyone. Letter B, status for 1463 Indianapolis Boulevard.
So the statuses that you're going to hear today were all up before the board on June 6th, and then we set them for 90 days for the
Okay.
most part.
Okay?
This is a property that back in June, the bond was posted back in April, and work was progressing. It was up for status on June 6th. Mr. Luter reported that the contractor's work had begun, electric service was approved, but the job hadn't progressed to a point of any other inspections. He suggested potentially a rehab extension, and we set a new status date for 90 days.
So as, moving forward, this project has moved forward. They are all the way up to insulation inspection passed, which means all they could do is drywall and then set all the trim work and cabinets and such. So the progress has been great. I have no problem. If we want to do another 90-day agreement, I believe they could be finished in that time.
Or is
We're
it
very
one,
close.
Bill, where you want to keep it on the demolition status, or do you want to just monitor it through the permitting and
No, I have
inspections?
no doubt that the contractor will finish the work, so if we just want to do it as a status date, maybe in 60 days. and
Yeah,
do a
because if it's
rehab.
progressing, what I'd like to do at the end is just make sure we rescind and release the order, right? So maybe just a 90, what do you want, 60 or 90?
Let's do 60 and see where we are in 60
Okay.
days.
So is November 7th okay?
Can we go a little later in the month?
14th? November 14th? 21st?
Yeah, 21st.
Motion to set the matter for status for November 21st.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Letter C, status for 941 Reese.
So 941 Reese was also here in June. The job was progressing, but a new plumbing contractor is needed, and we set it over for 90 days.
And I'm pleased to say that all rough inspections passed this week. They're getting ready to do insulation. That's the only one they haven't had yet as far as building, but they've passed rough plumbing, rough electrical, rough HVAC. So they are progressing nicely. And again, I have no issue believing that the contractor is not going to finish the job, provided the owner doesn't run out of money.
So you, and this is owned by, I'm trying to see who the guy's name is.
I can't think of the
have it
name.
here.
Cohen,
Cohen, okay.
yes.
Yeah, yeah, I have Gregory Campbell. Does that make sense?
Campbell, yeah, I'm sorry, yeah. The wife is Cohen Campbell.
And this is, again, we were under an expired extension of a rehab agreement. It was a second extension, so this will be a third, which we don't really like to do. But it sounds like it's moving forward.
moving
We
forward,
could have a
yeah.
status for, what do you want, Bill?
Do the
60
same
or
November
90?
21st?
Okay.
Use that same date?
Yes.
Okay.
Motion to set the matter for status for November 21st.
I second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Letter D, status for 6333 Garfield.
I believe we have Mr. Short and Mrs. Redfield here.
Yes, and the sign language
We do?
interpreters here as well.
Okay, great.
So I'll just report on this briefly, if you recall, Ms.
Wait for
Redfield,
her to
Yeah.
Sign to them, so hold on.
or if you want to bring them up to speed and where we are.
Yeah,
And then,
I just want to make sure we get her squared away. Good morning. All right, we're here for a status on the property. Unfortunately, we haven't heard of any progress on the rehabilitation of this property, and we've held off on entering demolition order because we wanted to give Ms. Redfield some chance to make sure that the property was at least cleaned up on the outside, but that hasn't happened. And so we definitely need an update from Mrs. Redfield.
I've done a lot of cleaning up, I finished that.
I know the,
So last month I found a contractor, I called many people, finally I did get a response.
Can you hear her?
Yep,
from a
yep.
contractor. He did take pictures of the roof and the chimney and the windows. He said he's so busy with other work, so I'm waiting, and he said he would be coming and starting on it very soon.
Okay, Bill, do you want to add anything?
do we have a name of the contractor?
Mike, Ebby, E-B-Y.
Do we have
I
a,
got a text from him.
do we have the name of his
We've been
company?
talking, with each other. Do you want to see the text?
I would need the name of the company because I'm not sure who Mike Ebby is. Want to make sure he's licensed with us.
Yes, he's licensed. E-B-Y, he's licensed.
Okay, we'll have to check the status of that.
Bill, do you want to mention about the outside?
I think I recall being inside the house. The house interior was satisfactory. There was a couple of electrical issues that an electrician needed to touch up. I don't think plumbing was an issue. I think the biggest draw in the house is the appearance of the outside. The backyard was a mess. The garage was in disrepair. I think the big thing is getting that, having the electrician take a look at the interior and then getting the exterior either painted or new siding, just so it kind of fits in with the rest of the neighborhood.
When's the last time we did a physical check there for the outside?
Whenever I haven't been by, but I'm sure there's been no progress. We've had no reports, no permits pulled, so I assume that no work has been done except for cleaning up.
And we have a rehab agreement that expired June 8th.
So I did clean it up. I threw a lot of things away. I picked up all of the things and in the basement, there was mold, I cleaned that. It was a lot of work. So the basement should be finished very soon.
Okay, so we need to establish if that contractor's credible, correct?
Correct.
And then how soon they're going to get started and what their
Yes.
expectations are finishing. the job.
And then whether we need an extension on the rehab
Correct.
agreement.
Yeah, so I would probably need at least, next week I could know today if,
Bill,
Yeah.
what he said.
okay.
Time.
Oh, I would say I could know next week if this contractor is licensed. I could know by the end of the meeting if I run downstairs, but
And maybe we can have Bill, or request Bill to maybe go out there. What's your
Yeah.
timeline on going?
I could get out there probably this afternoon, or sometime today I could get by there. take
That's what we were
pictures.
hoping, just to be
Yeah.
absolutely
Yeah.
sure.
Do
Yeah.
you
no
want to
problem
set
with
it
that.
over for next week?
That's what I'm thinking,
Mrs.
yeah.
Redfield's available.
That would be great, that's no problem.
Okay. Okay.
Motion to set
So
the matter for status for
EBBY was the-
For 919, right?
Mike,
Yeah.
let me get.
We'll get it to Bill. Just get it to Bill after.
Yeah, we'll get it to me after.
So we just want to let Ms. Greenwald make her motion here.
Yep.
Motion to set the matter for status for September 19th, 2024.
I second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Let me just wait and confirm she's okay. I don't think she got that yet.
Okay.
Can you tell her she doesn't have to give us the text information? She can get with Bill later.
We'll get that. If you can just let her know about the 19th.
But how does she spell his last name? Was it EBBY?
Can we just let her know that status is next week and that
Yeah.
she can settle it?
EBY.
Okay.
Okay, I'll find it. Okay.
Okay. You guys can meet after that, Bill?
Yeah,
After about this. Can you just let her know about the 19th?
Yeah, we'll do this again next week.
Okay, here's the spelling. Mike.
Okay, I'll find it, see what I can find on it.
So can you say that again?
That we're going to set it for status for next Thursday, the 19th. coming
Yes.
here, yes, ma'am.
Thursday?
Yes,
The 19th,
9 AM.
9 AM.
Okay.
And meet with Bill after, the
We'll
meeting.
talk briefly afterward, yeah.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Okay, moving on. Are we gonna, do you want to go back since he's here?
We got one more, yeah.
Okay, we'll finish that one.
Yeah.
Okay, letter E, status for 30 Warren.
So this was also up on June 6th. The contractor had begun work, electric service approved, but the job hadn't progressed to a point of any other inspections. We talked about a rehab extension, which expired June 1st, and then we ended up just setting it over for status. I would note that the owner did fail to appear both on June 6th and today.
Well, I've been in contact with the owner. The owner is actually the same contractor. He plans on moving into the house with his family. The interior has passed all rough inspections, plumbing, electrical, building, and HVAC. So again, similar to the other three, or the other two, we have significant progress completed on the inside. And if I remember correctly, the outside has been completely re-sided, so the house has a better appearance on the block.
Can I ask though, Bill, like, why doesn't he have enough courtesy or respect to come before the board when he's asked to?
I don't think we ever ordered him in front of the board to come
Well,
and show up.
he gets a letter about the
Yeah.
date to come.
Yeah,
so
that's what I
he just
thought,
sent a
yeah.
letter.
So I
I know
mean, I
he's-
appreciate that he's doing what we want him to do, but he really should show if
Yeah,
we ask him to show.
I think he realized to work through me like a lot of them do. Just
Okay. So so you're happy with the
oh, I'm very
progress?
happy with the progress, yes.
Okay, so what should we do?
You want to use the,
16th, you want the
We
November
we on the,
21st?
are we on
21st?
the first rehab agreement, or are we on the second?
The last rehab agreement was a second extension.
Okay.
So do you want to set it for that
Yeah, why don't we do it,
11/21?
this is for that November 21st status, see where we are on that.
And we'll make sure to order him to appear.
Yes,
Okay,
and I'll make sure he
So
shows up.
Linda will make sure
Thank you.
the letters.
Motion to set the matter for status for November 21st.
I second.
all in favor, say aye. Aye. Okay, we're going to go back up to letter A, status for 7235 Calumet Avenue. I see the attorneys walked in.
Yes, Board, I'm sorry, Attorney Jonathan Peterson appearing on behalf of the property owner. Good morning,
Good
Mr.
morning,
Smith.
Mr. Peterson. Yes, we actually, we were just going to reset it for next Thursday, just because, as the president pointed out, you're usually here, and I didn't know why you weren't, so we we're just going to reset it over.
My explanation is I was tied up on a phone call, and unfortunately, that went longer, so my apologies for being late.
No worries.
I can't offer a report, and I hope the report the board will find satisfactory.
So if I could just let you know what occurred in your absence, and then maybe you could give that report to the board, and also maybe a response to kind of where
Sure.
the city's at. So Mr. Farrell had reported that he wanted to move forward with the hearing on presenting to the board information and evidence that would hopefully result in a determination by the board that any apartment needed to be removed. I indicated to the board that you had sent an email to Mr. Farrell indicating that might be superfluous because you had agreed that there was going to be no residential, and I suggested to the board that you and I were going to speak over the next week to determine whether we could come to some agreement about something that could be recorded, either a covenant or something like that, that would deal with that issue, instead of going to a hearing. But that's where we left it.
I'm open to that possibility. I can report the following. My client has, it's my understanding that my client has addressed the exterior issue that was identified by the inspector. Very candidly, she is prepared to move forward with the remodeling, remove the residential units, but she lacks the funds right now. She is working to, she's working on getting another loan to pay the general contractor to finish up the work, and that was communicated to me on August 26th. So that's where we're at. But I would welcome an opportunity to speak with Mr. Smith, and if we can do this by stipulation, I think that we get this resolved.
Yeah, the point the board, I mean, from the city's perspective, we just want something that's recordable, and I'm sure Mr. Peterson and I can work on some language that's hopefully satisfactory to Mr. Kearney and Mr. Farrell as well.
That's all we want. We don't want a
Yeah.
hearing unless it's absolutely necessary, of course. So,
Agreed.
So,
Mr. Smith and I talk from time to time. I'm happy to entertain that.
Absolutely.
And
so do we need to cancel the
We
status?
should vacate next week, give Mr. Peterson and I maybe 3 weeks to get something
Yeah,
before the
that's
board.
fine.
Does that sound
That's
good, Nick? Okay, so if we could do a 3-week status, and I would just note that if we come to some agreement I don't believe the board needs to ask Mr. Peterson to appear as long as he and I have come to some agreement on the document and it's signed and,
We agree.
and if not, he can appear and then we can go from there.
So is October 3rd the
Sure.
good date?
Motion to rescind the previous motion and set a new status, a motion to set a new status for October 3rd, 2024.
I
I'm
do
sorry.
observe that I have a conflict on the 3rd.
Oh, sorry.
Maybe the 10th
10th?
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, we'll set this for status for October 10th.
at 9 a.m.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, very good.
Wait a second.
I second, and then October 10th, sorry.
That's okay. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Britton.
That's right, the vote.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, going on to number 11, late rental registration hearings. Letter A, 4013 Johnson, 2123 Davis, and 1135 Truman.
That's me.
Good morning, ma'am.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Could you give us your name, please,
My name is Michelle Mall.
and tell us what happened?
I work for a property management company. We had some staff turnover. Unfortunately, 3 of our registrations, he didn't fill out the forms and send them in. So we went to rectify that. We were notified they were never registered. And I'm just asking if we can have, some of the fees waived or, just be able to register them as normal for 2024.
Are these the only 3 properties you manage?
No, we have 600 properties as of now, and
I guess in Hammond, I meant.
in Hammond, yeah, in
Yeah.
Hammond, I want to say we have about 30 to 40 that we register with Hammond.
So were these the only 3 that weren't paid?
Correct.
Okay. Go ahead, Nick.
Yeah, so 4013 Johnson is a single-family home. I believe we are here for 2024, as it was registered for 22 and 23. Ownership occurred in 2022. And so the remainder, so Johnson was registered last year. And then 21, 23 Davis, similar situation, took over ownership in 23. And then single-family home, missed 24. And then for, I think, 1135 Truman, I think that might be the one that has 23 and 24 on it.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
so that one is, they took over ownership January of 23, under a company, it's a single-family home, and then this is the first time it's going to be registered. So that's what the miss of 23 and 24.
Okay. And we haven't had any issues with
No.
any other properties she manages?
There was one 4th property that was included, but that was sent to Smith Sursick because the owner of the property has owned it for some time, and there were multiple years there, so that was going to be addressed through Smith Sursick's office.
Good team.
Motion to waive the late fees for these properties.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
I so appreciate that.
You're welcome. You can pay at the end of today's meeting if you'd like.
With a credit card, is that fine?
Yeah, they're going to have to give you a copy of these sheets to take downstairs.
Okay,
So
perfect.
just-
Should I
We
wait
should be
here
done
then?
in about 5 minutes. Yep.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you. Let's see here. Let me finish this real quick. Okay. Moving on to letter B, 4717 toll. Thank you, sir. Good morning.
Good morning.
Can she give her name, please?
My name is Olga Moreno.
And can she tell us what happened, why she's late?
¿Por qué no registró a tiempo?
No la registré porque no sabía y en cuanto me enteré que un amigo nos dijo que teníamos que registrarla, yo vivo en Chicago y no sabía.
She had no idea that she had to register. It wasn't until she acquired the property that someone had told her that they needed to register the property for as a rental. The prior owner did not register it before, so she wanted to make sure she wanted to be compliant, but didn't know it was after the
Okay.
date.
So they are new owners of the property purchased October of 23. It's a single-family home, first time being registered as a rental property, and so they're here to appeal 23 and 24 as rental registration. When they came in to attempt to register for the 24 year is when we noticed that it was occupied in 23 as well for those last few months. So that this is their first time registering it. And we had to hurry because they're leaving out of the country, so that's why it appeared on the agenda prior to being assigned a date. So,
Okay, so you have no issue then?
no.
Okay.
Motion to waive the late fee.
I second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Could you please let her know we waive the late fees? She can pay the $10 at the end of today's meeting if she'd like, and just remind her that every year they have to be registered between January 15th and April 15th. January 1st and April 15th.
Le van a quitar la multa, va a tener que pagar lo que es el $5 del 23 y el $5 del 24, y aquí para adelante tiene que registrar la propiedad cada año entre el día 1 de enero hasta el día 15 de abril cada año.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, and
Thank
thank you
you
for
so
your help,
much.
too.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thanks,
thank
Alma.
you.
Thank you.
All good?
Yep.
Okay, number 12, meetings open to the public. Anybody have anything they'd like to say? Okay,
Motion to adjourn.
I second.
all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, everyone.